Let's take you to Asaba Delta State. They say worry no, they carry last. And of course, the Deltans there are not carrying last at the 9th National Youth Games in Asaba Delta State. It has reached day 6. 29 states, they already have medals to their name, amassing a total of 346 medals. Team Lagos, hail yourselves. They are top in the standing with 30 gold, 12 silver, and 11 bronze medals. Edo State are following suit in second place with 22 gold, 8 silver, and 14 bronze, while defending champions, the host, Delta State, they occupy third position, 10 gold, 17 silver, and 19 bronze. Several sports, including swimming, weightlifting, karate, and we've got gymnastics, not forgetting chess, they have been included, with the focus now shifting to athletics, kickboxing, and wrestling, which are yet to begin at the Games, but athletics began, of course, yesterday. The Games have also boosted business activities around the Stephen Keshi Stadium. It's a beehive of activity, a lot of selling and buying. Visitors at large are coming in their numbers to the Stephen Keshi Stadium to watch the future of Nigeria, the athletes that would have to represent Nigeria at international competitions like the Olympics or even the African Games. So we cannot wait to see what day 7 would look like, Okwe.
Yeah, definitely. It's been gearing up and it's getting more intense. We're getting towards, should I say, the business end of the tournament. And look, this is what we want. This is what they've been preparing for. And I think one thing that we're majorly happy about is the new talents that we've seen.
Yes.
And one surprising thing for me has to be Lagos topping the medal table. Sincerely speaking, yeah, I know that Lagos has always got talented athletes, but if we're being honest, in years past, it's usually maybe either teams from the middle belt. Exactly. So you don't really see Lagos there. Yeah, definitely, which is good. So for me, this just goes to show that, you know what, a couple of weeks ago, actually, the Director General of Sport talking about Lekon Fatodu, he did talk about the fact that Lagos are really gearing up when it comes to investing in their youth sports.
Did you know how they dominated the swimming competition? Because they would always go over there to the National Stadium where the swimming pool has been reconstructed. And that's the reason why we churn out a lot of medals. Lagos had to churn out a lot of medals from the swimming competition. But as the 9th National Youth Games enters its decisive stage in Asaba, thousands of young athletes from across the country are competing for glory, hoping that they can lift the glory of their states. But beyond the medals that they would get, the real story is about the discovery of talent, the organization by Delta State, and what the Games mean for the future of sport in Nigeria. That's what this should be focused on. Today, we are joined by the Executive Assistant on Sport Development to the Governor of Delta State to talk about how these games are shaping tomorrow's stars and what plans are in place to sustain this momentum. All right, we have joining us via Zoom all the way from Delta State, the Executive Assistant on Sport Development to the Governor of Delta State, Harrison Ocholo. Thank you so much, Harrison, for joining us on the show.
Thank for having me and a great for this channel.
It's a pleasure to have you, and I love it with the fact that you're hosting Nigeria at the moment in Asaba, and it's a wonderful thing because for you to be the one hosting, you're taking care of a lot of visitors over there in Asaba Delta State. So well done to you and the team. But as host of this 9th National Youth Games, how satisfied are you with the level of organization so far, especially in terms of we spotlighting young talents for the future of Nigerian sports?
Thank you much. Just to this year, kind of the host events for the year. So it has been important to host events. We have to manage people. This is when it comes to Delta. Delta is the third edition of sport in Nigeria. Everybody knows. So, at the position of the government of the state, title of as a senior, ensuring most well, ensuring that these two come state and taking care of them, of accommodation, in of transportation, security, in terms of doing the revenue package. So the lockdown will be years from new routes. So we'll continue to do this. You remember that the now under a memorandum of understanding in the sport with in sports. Because we contribute immensely hosting well organized competition. So that is why it goes for when it's money involved. So this was another nice sports festival. This sport is just contribution of how to invest.
I beg your pardon to cut you there, sir. I think we're having a little glitch with the audio there. We're hoping that we can get this settled and have you rejoin us, Mr. Harrison Ochola. All right, we're waiting for that to be fixed because we really need to have this conversation and get to hear properly what the executive assistant has to say. They are the host nation of the host state.
Yes.
I'm used to saying nation. So they're the host state of the National Youth Games, and it's wonderful because Delta has become a hub for sports. I really want to know the secret behind that. They have been able to host competitions, and Delta always come up as the saving grace. When other states are not prepared to host a competition, they'll take it, quickly take it. It has become a hub for sports. I cannot wait to, for us to settle that audio glitch there with the executive assistant on sport development to the Delta State Governor to see if we can have a clear conversation around the growth and the spotlighting of young talent. Right, okay, with Delta taking the center stage, hosting at the moment and becoming a hub of sport, I think this will be, they will take this dominance for a very long time.
Yes, because if you think about it, this is not their first time hosting a national sports event for the nation. And they've been doing it over the years. I know that they've got plans to host future events as well. But, let's even talk about the type of talents that they churn out. These are multi-sports events, and they always come out dominant. That's why I was quite surprised that, it's Lagos that is topping the medal table at the moment. But, hey, if it's a good thing whereby a state like Delta has put every other state in Nigeria on notice that, look, we want to be here for a long time, we want to dominate. And I think this has now created healthy competition among the states. Each state is now going into our national youth games and our national sport conventions with a bit more vigor and better preparation as well, not just financially, but in terms of coaching. I think we're beginning to see the benefit of that, and that's what's currently on display, hence the highly competitive nature of the ongoing National Youth Games.
But away from Delta having to host this game this way, of course, we're getting concerns. When you host competitions like this, you hear of a little bit of, reservations, concerns, and we're already hearing some. Of course, from the Taraba State coach, he did lay some concerns on the table, especially having to deal with age cheats. And I'm hoping that we can have to reconnect with the executive assistant on sport development to the Delta State Governor, talking about Harrison Ochola. I'm hoping that he can reconnect and we can have this conversation, because age cheat has been a bane in Nigerian sports. We cannot tell from the use of the NIN or even age certificates to know if you're from a particular state, if indeed you fall within the age range to be called a youth, to take part in this competition. He raised some concerns, talking about the Taraba State coach. He did raise some concerns, saying that they're using manual processes to know who is falling within that range of the age range. And you can see here a team name written in paper, just pasted in the back of an athlete. I'm a bit concerned. All right, I understand we have the executive assistant on sport development for the Delta State Governor, Mr. Harrison Ochola, reconnect with us. Thank you, Harrison, for reconnecting. We appreciate you for your patience.
Thank you. Thank you for just being there, and thank you for having me.
All right, I know we could not get a proper conversation. My first question to you, but please, can you just continue with your thoughts? So every single person who hails from Delta, who is interested in this youth games, watching the youth game and following the youth game, will get the proper, situation of things for the fact that we're churning out talents. How surprised have you been? And with the organization of this National Youth Games, can you tell us with the talents that have been popping up?
Okay, your first question alluded to preparation and organization, and I did mention at that point that it's in our DNA, something that we've been doing over the years, right from the administrations of former Governor Bori, Odwa, Okowa, and now right on the Ojolowori. So it's something we've done over the years, hosting the Super Eagles, the National Sports Festival, the Youth Games, twice now in a row. So something that we've been doing in terms of organization, in terms of hosting Nigeria just the way we should do in terms of accommodation, transportation, the medical services, and everything, security inclusive. So we've been doing this. Now, for every Delta who is out there in diaspora, they should be proud of what we are doing because it shows that Delta is the preferred destination for sports. And we would like to have states come join us every time for sports competition. His Excellency the Governor, he's been on the top of the situation in terms of providing facilities for sports competitions. Now, these young stars, since they came into Asaba Thursday last week into today, they are so excited being in the state capital Asaba, and they've been enjoying the camaraderie, in unity, the position, the friendship. That's what sport brings: friendship, unity. So that's what Delta stands for. As far as business is booming. That's one unique factor when it comes to hosting competitions. The city, the local businesses in Asaba will experience a boom, even visitors from outside Asaba. So we're getting it right this time around.
Okay, I cannot just take away the accolades from you or even giving you your flowers. But of course, for every single competition being hosted in Nigeria, there are a little bit of reservations shared. And before you reconnected, we were having a discussion around reservations shared by a coach from Taraba State, raising concerns about the current manual screening process done over there at the National Youth Games. And he believes that we cannot effectively detect age cheats because age cheats has been a bane for youth competition in Nigeria and on the continent. How do you respond to these reservations that have been shared? And are there plans to adopt a more reliable, scientific system in future for the competitions like this in future?
Good question. I need to take it from this perspective.
Okay.
States, the local organizing committee, as chaired by the chairman of the National State Sports Commission, we're not in charge of screening. Screening is done by the main organizing committee, the owners and the organizers of the National Youth Games, which is the federal, the National Sports Commission. So what they have, they've got their systems and processes, which includes sports science. That means there are certain detection systems for managing age categorized competitions like the National Youth Games. This is what this is all about. Now, this is an under 15 category national game. So the system in place will be applying and your passport, your international passport. We've seen in the past where states will protest against other states because you have a taller player or a much shorter player or a player who is that young but has developed what you call some biological features that they believe shouldn't be the case. But again, you go look at their documentation, you'll find out that that person is categorized as 15 or under 15. We've seen that in the past. Now, you've asked a question, the second leg of that question in terms of scientific screening. Yes. I remember, I know very well in football, you use the MRI scan. The MRI scan is just on your left hand or your right hand. What it does is that they scientifically screen your bones. That bone is what they use in terms of your hand, your finger bones, or your bones on your left or right hand. They use that to really now understand how old you really are. That can be brought into the system, but again, it's capital intensive when you move in the MRI scan into a competition at this level. But I believe we will get there someday. But as far as the other parts of what the coach did say, a more purposeful way or a more effective way of screening. You know, every state who comes to a competition is coming to win. They come with their own plans in terms of the kind of athletes they bring. So it's not foolproof. The screening is not always 100% foolproof. What you find, there still are some states who will circumvent the system in trying to just get their athletes through to compete. An example will be, for example, you're showing cycling now. For cycling, you just find out that they have what we call, they have registered their players as, their cyclists as 15 years or under. But you find out that when scientific screening is done, most of them will be older than 15. Older by 15 by a week, by a month, by a few months, and yet the coaches and officials will say they are 15 and even under 15, even in swimming, even in football. So these are some of the things the National Sports Commission, in collaboration with the sports federations, because the first sports federations are the owners of the 36, 37 sports that are featuring in the National Youth Games. So they need to now be what we call a stakeholder collaboration, a multi-stakeholder conversation as to how to manage screening of athletes, either at the National Sports Festival or at the National Youth Games. It's going to be an ongoing conversation, but again, it's all for the future discovery of talent, because Nigeria is so massively blessed with talent. What we have seen in the National Youth Games here is amazing, truly amazing. Name the events. We've discovered excellent golfers at that young age. We've discovered swimmers, they're still coming, even handballers, volleyballers. It's amazing. Even in football, you'll be amazed what Nigeria's future is like as far as sports is concerned at the junior, intermediate, and at the senior level.
I also share the same discovery with you here for the talents that I have seen at the 9th National Youth Games. And thank you so much, Mr. Harrison, for giving clarity to the concerns raised by the Taraba State coach. We do appreciate your thoughts today, and we'll be hoping that we can follow up with updates there until the last day, the closing day of the National Youth Games. Thank you, Harrison Ochala, who is the Executive Assistant on Sport Development to the Governor of Delta State. Thank you so much. All right, there we're getting a breakdown around the National Youth Games. We've been talking about concerns around age cheats, how we can manage saving the situation there so we can have sincere athletes coming up to represent Nigeria for future competitions. And the talent discovery of where he did say it, from the golf down to swimming, where Lagos dominated. Yes, talents are popping up over there and they're ready for more. They have this eagerness to do more. If only we can harness them once they are discovered.
Yes, Onyechi, you know, it's not just about discovering this talent. How about coaching? What are we doing in terms of investment in coaching? Because, look, we have these raw diamonds, but we need to harness them in order, we need to fine-tune them so that, you know, they turn into the final product of that fine-cut diamond. But I don't think we're there yet. We need to start investing in coaching as well, so that when we get to the multi-sport tournament, talking about the African Games, talking about the Olympics, talking about the Commonwealth Games, the World Championships, going to those events, we then need to show the fact that, look, we've got this talent and we're able to hopefully, you know, finish in the top 3.
Yes, finish in the top 3, even become #1